morning, good afternoon, everybody. Today, I'm going to show you how to block incoming emails from the onmicrosoft.com domain. This onmicrosoft.com domain is never used for anything other than internal services within the tenant. Nobody uses this domain for external communication because it looks weird. It's the onmicrosoft.com domain. So it's like something.onmicrosoft.com, like mycompany.onmicrosoft.com. Nobody ever uses this domain for any external communication. And anything that's not used should be blocked in general. Because technically, you can use this onmicrosoft.com domain can be used for sending and also receiving emails. And since nobody uses it in general, you should block it in your environment. Because like I said, anything that's not used should be blocked. The second reason why you should block all incoming emails from the onmicrosoft.com domain is the fact that attackers use it for phishing emails, user impersonation emails, domain impersonation emails. Because anyone can register a new Microsoft tenant. And when you are registering a new Microsoft tenant, you can choose your own onmicrosoft.com domain, so the tenant domain. It has to be globally unique, but you can choose it when you are creating your tenant. And that's what attackers also do, is they sometimes create their own tenant, and they use a domain or domain name of the tenant that is similar to a domain name of some real organizations. And then the attackers can use the tenant domain name, the onmicrosoft.com domain name, to impersonate some other organization or users of some other organization. And your internal users might not pay attention to it. They might think that the onmicrosoft.com domain is actually legit, because they are not experts, they are not cybersecurity experts. They don't know what the onmicrosoft.com domain is, how is it used, what does it mean? And they might be fooled. So that's the second reason why all emails from any onmicrosoft.com domain in your environment should be blocked. There is one exception though, and the exception is for your internal domain name. So your tenant domain name. That needs to be allowed because some services internally use this tenant domain name, also called as Moira domain name, to route some internal emails or use it for other reasons. For example, Teams also use this internal domain name for some internal services or email notifications and so on. So everything that's coming to your organization from the onmicrosoft.com domain should be blocked except for your internal tenant domain name. The way how you can block it is via the Exchange Admin Center. So go to admin.exchange.microsoft.com, expand mail flow, and open rules. Here you might already have some other rules, but we are going to create a new mail flow rule. This is the way how we are going to block it, how we are going to block emails from any of the onmicrosoft.com domains. You can name the rule however we want. So I will name it, for instance, block incoming emails from onmicrosoft.com domain. we want this rule to be applied if the sender address matches any of these text patterns. And the text pattern will be the onmicrosoft.com domain suffix. So it's .onmicrosoft.com. Add. We click Save. So you see that we are applying the rule if the sender address matches any of these text patterns and the text pattern is .onmicrosoft.com. Because that's the domain suffix for the Moira domains, for the tenant domains. The action that we want to do with incoming emails that are coming from this domain, you can either block the messages completely, but I usually recommend redirecting it to quarantine. So I choose this redirect the message to option and select hosted quarantine in the second drop-down menu. Because if you block the message completely, you don't have it under your control. You don't see what's coming to your organization. Maybe there are some external organizations that, for whatever weird reason, send you emails from their Moira domain. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't happen normally, but there might be some weird reasons. If you redirect your messages, or if you redirect the incoming messages to the hosted quarantine, it means that you can go to the security center, open the quarantine, and review the messages there. If there are some messages that were sent from some of external onmicrosoft.com domains, then you will see the messages in the quarantine and you can potentially release the messages from quarantine. So that's the reason why I recommend redirecting the messages to hosted quarantine. As I've already mentioned, there needs to be one exception for your own tenant domain name. So I choose this except if and configure the same settings here. So except if the sender address matches any of these text patterns and I add my own tenant domain name here. So in my example, it is cswrld.com.onmicrosoft.com. It needs to be your own tenant domain name that you add here. So please don't put this to the exceptions because it's my own tenant name. So put your own tenant domain name to the list of exceptions. Of course, you can create more exceptions if you need to. So if you know that there is an external organization that sends, for whatever reason, emails from the onmicrosoft.com domain, then you can put them also to exceptions. But that should never happen. So we click Save. Now we have the rule configuration complete. We can click Next. The rule settings don't need to be changed because we want the rule mode to be enforced. We don't need to specify any severity. We don't need to specify activation and deactivation date and time for the rule because we want this rule to be active all the time. We don't need to manipulate with the processing of the rule, and we want to match the sender address in message header. So we keep the default setting here. We don't have to change anything on this page. So we can just click Next. The last page of the wizard is just a quick review of the configuration. So we see the rule name here. The rule name can be anything. We see the rule conditions here that the sender address matches any of these text patterns and the text pattern is configured to be onmicrosoft.com. When the sender address matches this text pattern, we want to do the following. Deliver message to spam quarantine mailbox. That's the internal quarantine. You can release it from quarantine if you need to. There is one exception configured, and the exception is for your internal tenant domain name. The exception is configured the way that the sender address matches any of these text patterns, and the text pattern is configured to be your own tenant domain name. We can click Finish. Now it's saving this new transport rule that we just configured for blocking incoming emails from external Moera domains. There is one more thing that we need to do with the rule, because the rule by default is disabled. You see the status says it's disabled. So you need to click the rule, okay, and change the state to enabled. So we just switch this switch to enabled. It takes a few seconds and the status automatically changes to enabled. Now we have enabled this rule. You see, rule status updated successfully. The rule is now enabled and it starts processing the messages. So from now on, any incoming email that's coming from the Moera, which is the .onmicrosoft.com domain, will be sent to the quarantine, will not be delivered to end users. That's all from my side for today. I hope you liked it. Leave me a comment if you have any questions. If you like the video, share it with your colleagues because I think it's very useful. It should be configured in all tenants. Don't forget to follow my blog, Cybersecurity World, because I publish tips and tricks there as well. There are some articles that I think you should definitely read. Also, don't forget to follow my personal Twitter and LinkedIn profiles, because I share interesting tips and tricks there as well. I also reshare messages of other users on Twitter and LinkedIn if I find them useful. So don't forget to follow me there as well. And I publish a weekly newsletter on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, on YouTube. So don't forget to subscribe to the weekly newsletter, where I summarize everything that happened in the past week in the world of IT and cybersecurity. And that is really all from my side for today. So thanks again for watching and see you next time.